Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we will be asking the question, what happens when we make the domain limit unlimited? Yes, so that means every nation has unlimited domains. So that means they technically really don't have to have any vassals. If they wanted to, they could just go crazy and create as much as territory as they want. I think this is going to help a lot of the smaller nations, so we might see some new nations video. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen, but if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's see what happens with this experiment. We are about 50 years in and everything seems pretty normal. I have to say the Byzantines are expanding pretty fast in the north. They sometimes do that, but besides that, nothing else seems too interesting. It will be interesting more late game to see what happens. I do have to say Fatimid is doing very good in Egypt. They usually don't do this good, so I would like to see if they are able to defeat the Persian Empire. That would be a very interesting nation there. I have to say this is one of the weirdest HREs I've ever seen. They're looking very ugly. They don't look really weak, but they're kind of taking small bites out of France, and that's just having it. Speaking of France, they're having an awful day. Not looking good, and they're suffering a lot. Please put them out of their misery. I think something happened to the Egyptians, also known as a crusade. It looks like a crusade happened and Jerusalem just took a big bite. This is one of the best Jerusalems I've ever seen. They look super strong, especially this early on in the game. And then also the Persian Empire sort of collapsed. Other than that, nothing else seems too interesting yet, but I have to say, very interesting Jerusalem, and sad to see the Islamic nations fall apart. England is just having a pretty bad time. You can also see the HREs having a bad time. Their nations have exploded. This is quite interesting. I thought rebellions and stuff like this would not happen as much with the unlimited domain limit, but apparently that does not matter. There is going to be plenty of rebellions. Also, I don't think this is actually a rebellion. I think this is the good old Norse people invading England. We are about 150 years in this game, and I just gotta say the HRE looks awful. I have not seen an HRE look this bad before this early in the game. I think it might be because a lot of smaller nations are becoming more powerful, such as Pomerania. They're doing really good, and so the breakout of Bavaria. Also, it looks like France is most likely going to die, and as you can see, the Byzantines are doing extremely well. For 150 years, I have to say, this Byzantines is looking very dominant. I could see them obviously winning this game. There is a strong Syria and Jerusalem as well, so usually their nations are Catholic and not Orthodox, so they might be a bit of a problem. But it is interesting to see Byzantines do so well, but Croatia still being alive. The Mongols are here, and my prediction is the Mongols are going to murder everyone. If it works exactly how I anticipate it, they will not have to give away any of their domains, so they should be able to keep all their power. I think they will fall eventually because they always fall, but I do think they will be very powerful and should reach pretty far. Never mind, they were complete failures. They literally did not do anything. They just completely collapsed without going that far. That's very sad to see, but other places are starting to do much better. We can see actually two rising stars right now in Europe. We can see Sweden is very expansive right now, and then also Aquitaine. Aquitaine has a big chunk in Africa, and they actually usually never expand to Africa. The Byzantines are still doing well, but they kind of slowed down. I expect them to be a lot bigger, but something I want to show off is something I've never seen before. The best crusade nation I've ever seen. This Syria is so big, and it looks like they're actually taking territory from the Byzantines. This is what we need to kill the Byzantines. Syria is just destroying them. Egypt is also looking really good, so I'd love to see Egypt and Syria just murder the Byzantines. It's literally my dream. It's literally all I want to see for the rest of this video. I have waited so long for this. The Swedish have actually formed Scandinavia. The AI rarely forms empire, and this is the first time I've seen it in so many campaigns. It is something great to see. I hope they do great for the rest of this campaign. We are actually getting pretty close to the end date, but I have to say this formed Scandinavia is really impressive from the AI. We are at the end date, and I just gotta say, this is a pretty interesting map. The Byzantines are really big, but there are also a lot of other huge nations out there. Scandinavia is still doing extremely well. Vladimir, Ruthenia, Hungary doing pretty good. Utan, which I've never seen before, which is just some Islamic nation with a different title. Jerusalem also doing great in the Middle East. This is a very interesting game. This is going to be the end date, but we're gonna send it like way into the future to see what else happens with the domain limit at max, just to see what's happening and see really what we can push this to. We let the game run for a couple more hours, and I have to say, this is a very interesting game. There's only a couple nations I actually recognize. The only ones I really recognize are France, Aquitaine, Poland, and Scandinavia. There's Hungary as well. Byzantines, yeah, they're pretty much nothing, but this is very interesting. It's really cool to see. And if we actually look more in detail, there's some nations that decide not to go too much on their domain limit. They really only have what's it called, 1 or 2 domains, where there's other that have like 24. And you can see the nations that have a ton of domains, they have a ton more power. So this is very interesting to see. After I'm done talking, I will show you the end map modes. And if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and see you in a future episode. See you later. Bye. If you like this video, check out some of my other content. I do time lapses, I do let's plays, I do challenges, I do a whole bunch of stuff. So if you liked it, check out some of these videos on the screen now, some playlists, and thank you for supporting the channel. I actually appreciate it. I couldn't do it without you. See you later, have a good one, and have a great rest of your day.